The month of July is over. It's officially in the books, and that only means that the Iowa State Fair is about 2 weeks away or 10 days away, and then back to school. So you know that the month of August is just going to fly by. So let's stop worrying about August, and let's talk a little bit about what happened this past month of July with Des Moines real estate. Hey there, it's Les Solgrove with Via Realtors and Simply Des Moines. This is the weekly market update for Des Moines and Central Iowa real estate, talking about all that's happened in the world of home selling and home buying in the Central Iowa area. It's been quite a month here. July has been kind of started off a little busy and has kind of ended a little bit slow. And I think we'll see some of that in some of the stats I'm going to bring you tonight or today. And I hope that, we can learn a little bit about what's happened and what's going to happen as a result, because the market is definitely changing. So let's jump right in here. This week we did hit our latest milestone on closed sales. We hit 9,000 closed sales on July 26th. And if you notice the graphic there, the 220s there, we hit 8,000 closed sales in 20 days, and then we turned around and hit 9,000 closed sales in 20 days. That's a little bit longer than last year. It was 16 days last year that it took to go to that next 1,000 mark. I suspect that we're going to start to, well, we're already seeing these numbers from last year kind of trail a little bit longer out, and I think we're going to continue to see that. So how fast will we hit 10,000? Probably before the end of August, but it's just kind of hard to say. So we'll watch this number as we always do every week. The week 30 dashboard is really telling the story here. We are still in a seller's market for everything resale. In other words, everything that's pre-existing, used homes, if you want to call it that. New construction properties are definitely still in a buyer's market. There's nothing in between. We don't have anything in the even or balanced market, which is at 3 to 5 months of home inventory. We are starting to see our days on market kind of creep up a little bit. We are at 4 days overall days on market, which is still screaming fast, but it just doesn't feel like it right now. We're at a little over 2 months of inventory. Again, we hit that 9,000 closed sale mark as of July 31st, which is Sunday here. We were at 9,300 homes. So we put 300 homes in the closed sale category from just earlier this week, but that makes kind of sense since we have the end of the month and a lot of closings happen near the end of the month. So we'll show you a little bit here about, we'll talk a little bit about inventory and sale pendings. We're really not going to get into median sale prices this week. So I wanted to point out that the median sale price here at $270,750 is down from where we were within the last couple of weeks. And next week we'll talk a little bit about that and also about the cycle of real estate. So I'm kind of working on a story about how the real estate market cycles. And we've talked about that before, but I think it's time to kind of bring it back up because the market is definitely changing. So let's jump right into the end of July and look at the review here. A couple of changes that are worth noting on the monthly activity status for listing statuses. Obviously our new listing inventory is on the rise. Pending sales are coming down. We still have more homes in sale pending status than we do new listings, and that's kind of my last couple of slides here in a minute here. Not last, but near the last, we'll talk about that inverted market. Closed sales, we had 1,438 closings this past month. Recorded. Obviously, there'll be a few more that come in that will get credited to July, but as of July 31st, that's how many were actually recorded. The big one to look at there is the price increases, which is fourth down in the blue, and the pink price reductions. It's totally flip-flopped from where it had been the last couple of, at least the last year. We saw over 1,000 homes had price reductions, and when you've got such low market inventory, 2,600 homes on the market, and 1,000 of them had price reductions, that's a pretty substantial number there. We're not seeing the price increases we were seeing last year, which was predominantly new construction. So our back on market, our back on market numbers don't look too bad. But 236, I think it calculated out to like 22 or 23% of our home sales for the week, but nothing out of the ordinary there. So the months of inventory by price range, this is one that's kind of been a little bit interesting. In fact, you notice that top tier above $800,000 price points, our month of inventory is definitely in a buyer's market, regardless of whether it's new construction or resale properties. The $300,000 to $800,000 price point, with the exception of that $600,000 to $700,000 price point, is definitely in an even market. So when I say we really didn't have anything in a balanced market, that's overall. Now, when you start to break it down by price points, that's a little different story. So if you're looking to buy a home somewhere between that $300,000 to $800,000 price point, it's kind of the balanced market. Everybody's kind of feeling like they're getting the best value for their dollar, and there's plenty of inventory to look at. If you're above $800,000, you kind of, as a buyer, are kind of in the driver's seat in that price point, because there's more inventory than what is, really the demand is from buyers out there. That $600,000 to $700,000 price point at 2.9 months is just, a tenth of a month, 0.1 month away from actually jumping into that even market. So the only category of our market that's really still heavily in a seller's market is that under $300,000 price point, which, by the way, happens to be some of the majority of our sales come in under that $300,000. That's kind of why that's weighted. Even though it looks like there's not much inventory there, it's just that our inventory is there. It's just weighted and selling fairly, very, very, very quick in that price point. So to give you an idea what this looks like from the last month, if you look across this smaller graphic to the right there, that's June. And we only had two categories that were in a buyer's market. That was 7 to 8 and above $1 million. And, even the up to $600,000 and $700,000 was in a seller's market. That $500,000 to $600,000 price point just barely qualified to be in that even market. So the market's definitely shifting downward. And when you really lose that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories there, all the way up to 800,000 or up to 700,000, those kind of going in from seller's market into an even market tells you that the market is definitely slowing a bit there. Our homes for sale by price point, a couple of notes here on this one. Notice that above $1 million, we have 69 properties currently listed over $1 million in our Des Moines market. And that's, I remember not too many years ago when, we had less than I'd say less than 6 or 7 homes above $1 million on the market. And now we have 70. I know that has a lot to do with low interest rates over the past few years and just pricing going up. But I just think that that's still quite interesting. And the bulk of our inventory is from that $300,000 to $400,000 price point. So $400,000 price point and below. That 3 to 4 is a general mix of new construction and existing homes. That's why that one's so high in the inventory count. So if you're kind of looking in that $300,000 to $400,000 price point, there's a lot of inventory for you to look at there. And the same category, looking at it from the contract perspective here, these are the number of homes under contract. And you can see, again, the lower the price point, the more homes there are under contract. So most of our sales activity right now is really definitely under 500,000, but predominantly under 400,000. The reason why the 0 to 100,000 price point is so low is it's just there isn't much there. I mean, look back, we had 71. I'm sorry for flipping around. 71 properties on that 0 to $100,000 price point for sale, and only 65 are under contract. So we're really selling that out. About anything that comes on the market that fits that price point is selling very, very fast. So I had mentioned earlier we were going to talk a minute about inverted market, and this is that phenomenon that basically happened in about June or May of 2020, and that was the point where home sales started to increase at such a fast pace that we ended up putting more homes under contract than we had for sale. So when we have more homes in the sale pending process than we do in the homes for sale category, I kind of coined that term as an inverted market. And you can see that 2021 was the year of the hugest inversion there. I mean, we were at almost 4,600 homes in the sale pending category, and we had around around 1,600 homes, for sale. So that was quite the difference last year to this year. We're still this year in an inverted market, although if you look all the way to the right where the green and yellow kind of come together, I'm going to show you one more slide here on this, and it's just basically this year only. This shows you that difference between the sale pendings every week and the homes for sale every week. And this is as of Sunday night here, July 31st, we had 2,741 homes were in sale pending and 2,580 for sale. That's only 161 properties apart. I would say that we have a very, very good chance this week of getting out of or crossing over and getting out of this inverted market. Now, once we do that, I'm going to really start to dig a little bit deeper and see, of those homes that are inverted or that category that's inverted, are there some that are new construction, or, is this happening more in the single family resale, or is it new construction related? We'll dig a little bit deeper into this, but keep in mind that this will be the first time since around May of 2020 that we will actually have been out of this inverted market. And that is just a huge, huge deal in my book for our marketplace. So it's important to know that even though inventory is on the rise, everybody feels like, oh my gosh, there's all kinds of inventory. We are still in a severe lack of inventory for the year. This is looking back to 2009 and every year. And of course it goes up and down throughout the year. But in 2010, we had almost 6,000 homes on the market, and we're just praying that we can get up to 3,000 by sometime here in 2022. And that just shows you that even though we feel like our inventory is increased and we have a lot of homes, we still are very, very short of inventory. And this is a graphic we'll probably come back to next month when we talk about the cycle of real estate as well. We're going to finish off on just kind of looking at 2 or 3 of the categories that are in the for sale category, and just got to give you an idea of where the homes, what type of homes are making up this for sale increase here. So this is all homes, and again, we are just pushing 2,600 homes. We will hit that this week. I just have this feeling, based on the way the activity's been, we will be pushing 2,600 homes and plus this week, and maybe 2,700 the following week. We've been kind of hitting about 100 more every week here. But if you look at the black line, that shows you where we were last year at this same time. So we are definitely from about mid to late April, early May, we really turned this market and started to bring on new inventory. And this is all homes. If you look at just the existing homes, the single family resales, it was a little bit delayed. It was more into that first or second week of May when we really started to pull away. But we are on our way to, having over 1,200 homes for sale in the existing homes. And I will tell you, back the low, just even this year was about 425, which is just amazing. We've come back this far in the single family resale. So back in March of this year, we had the lowest inventory on record, even lower than last year, and we've certainly come back. So this is why the buyer demand, I think, is still there, because a lot of buyers were frustrated and now they're finding stuff. So this is the kind of one that I really wanted to show you. This is new construction properties. So if you notice, the other ones were kind of, let me just back up here. You notice the other ones were kind of just following a little bit behind or a little bit ahead of last year. But if you look at the new construction, in May of last year, when inventory really, really dropped, that was kind of the peak of the real estate sales of new construction. And new construction was strong all through the summer months. You see it picked up a little bit in July of last year, but then it wasn't until August when it really started to rise. This year, it's been just totally opposite. Look at the difference between 2022 in green versus that 2021 black line. And you can see that last year where the market dropped down, this year inventory of new construction homes started to pick up and gain. And we currently have, just under 1,000 new built homes that are currently on the market, and more actually that are under construction that are just not listed yet, because a lot of the builders are holding off on putting them into the multiple listing service until they get closer to, maybe framing stages, so they know what their final costs are going to be. So don't be surprised if you continue to see new construction properties inventory rise as we move into the fall, because that's the natural tendency. If you look at that black line, inventory typically does rise as we move into the fall months, when buyer demand kind of drops off a little bit for new homes. So, well, let's finish this up with talking about closed sales year to date. We're at 9,305. That's that red bar on the left there, compared to 9,485 at the same time last year. The existing homes are 6,305, so we're just a full 3,000 listings lower than the total sales closed. So that remaining 3,000 closed sales is broken down from the existing condo townhome market, which is just slightly again behind last year. New home sales, the new construction, we've closed 1,524 versus 1,376. With the amount of inventory, we'd like to think that number would be higher, but that's just kind of where it's at. And the other category of new construction, condo townhomes, is not trailing, is slightly ahead of 2021 of last year as well. So the new construction is what's kind of keeping our year-to-date closed sales moving along. And I'm predicting around 16,000 closed sales by the end of this year. I don't think we're going to hit that 17 or more like we did in 2021, just because we don't have the number of homes in the sale pending bucket. But at 9,305 right now, as of July 31st, that's a pretty respectable number. And who knows if rates continue to do a little bit of dropping, because they have dropped in the last week. There for a while, everything was above 5%, and we're starting to see again rates under 5%. So if that spurs some buyer demand, that could be a good thing here as well. So anyway, that's kind of the show this week. I appreciate your time, and again, I'm always asking people to leave comments or leave their questions in the show comment section below on the YouTube channel. Please subscribe as well and hit that like button, because that helps me put this program out into more and more people's inboxes and out there on the search engine. So thanks again for joining me, and we will talk to you all again next week. Be safe and stay cool, because it's going to be a hot one.